Thank you for returning to King's Legacy Group. Again, I am NECA, your narrator and owner of King's Legacy Group. You are about to view additional parts to the topic indicated on the first slide. Thank you again for returning to complete the learning process of information that is vital and relevant to your financial journey. So enjoy. This is the short disclaimer you have already read and was narrated on the original slide of this presentation topic. Therefore, please read again at your leisure for the additional slides you are about to view. Some of this information I'm sure you have already heard of, but I'm still going to include it and briefly read through it because the purpose of this presentation is to teach you about building your personal credit, your personal profile, your first impression of lenders, creditors, financial institutions, people who you want to trust you to use their money or to manage your money well. Okay? The purpose of credit bureaus. Credit repair is done to restore your own credit using the laws that were put in place to protect you. The Fair Credit Reporting Act that regulates credit repair companies ensures that credit repair is legal. Yes, it's legal, but some people promise you things that they shouldn't be promising you just so that they can get your business. That's what you have to be aware about. But credit repair companies, they can't do anything other than what's in the law, what's in writing. They got to follow the rules. I don't care what they tell you extra. Once you analyze your credit report and find its inaccuracies, you can dispute those inaccurate items or make corrections if information needs to be updated or removed. There are 4 credit bureaus. Yes, 4. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and I pronounced this right, Innovis. I hope I said that right. Innovis. It's either Innovis or Innovis. I've heard it 2 different ways, so I'm just going to say both. Credit bureaus hold all your financial details. These credit bureaus offer services like credit reports, disputes, and credit monitoring. Credit bureaus offer products to third parties and other companies. Credit bureaus are put in place to monitor your credit and get inaccurate information off your credit report. Again, the credit bureaus, the 4 is Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovis. There are other companies that review your credit or offer credit information to inquiries. You have, again, Innovis, Consumer Assistance. You have CoreLogic. You have LexisNexis, Risk Solutions, and SageStream. Your score and history from each bureau will never be the same because these entities do not communicate with each other. They don't work with each other. They don't set the same policies as each other. Some may be similar, but not all is the same. All credit bureaus' contact information is listed here. You can take a screenshot or refer back to this when you need it. But these are the direct contacts for the 4 credit bureaus and the secondary credit companies. Okay? Of each of them, you can request a security freeze. Applying for your 3 credit reports, the Experian, Equifax, and the TransUnion. Pull your main 3 credit reports by mail. Do not pull or request your reports online. That is not a good way to do it. Go through the process of providing a copy of your valid ID, state ID, and proof of residence. But if your address is not the same on the ID and the proof of residence that you provide, if it's not the same, if it doesn't match, then that means you need to provide 2 forms of residence verification. You can see to the side what is acceptable for valid ID and for proof of residence. Trusted sources for reports. Do not waste your time on paying for information that's free. Annual credit report request. Just go to annualcreditreport.com. Okay, you can pull a free one once every 12 months, which is a 3-in-1 credit source of all 3 bureau credit reports at once. But starting January 2022, you will have to request all 3 separately from annualcreditreport.com. It's not going to be 3-in-1 anymore effective January 2022. You're going to have to put in a request for all 3 separately. There are other resources like Extra Credit, which is a new product that lets you monitor 28 of your FICO scores from the 3 major bureaus. But there is a small monthly fee. But it is a legitimate site. You can place a security freeze on your reports so that no new credit can be established in your name without the use of your PIN. This not only eliminates any fraudulent transactions, but prevents potential grantors from accessing your credit report without your consent. For further information and inquiry, you can contact the following contacts. Now, the information on here is different than when you want to request your credit report. So don't confuse the two. Look at both slides so you'll see the difference. If you need other information about or inquiry about freezing your credit report, it's not going to be the same address or contact information as if you were requesting your reports. You can also place a fraud alert on your credit reports. It is free for the first time and will remain on your credit for 1 year. If you do a fraud alert, it'll remain on your credit for 1 year. This informs creditors of possible fraudulent activity within your report and requires a creditor to contact you first before establishing new accounts in your name. For the National Credit Reporting Agencies, which is the Federal Trade Commission, there's the location, and there are the states where the information may be different on how to request or put a fraud alert on your account. Additional information: you have issues of identity theft. You can contact FTC.gov ID theft, or you can call them. For a free FICO score, you can go to creditscorecard.com. The company Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is a U.S. government agency that makes sure banks, lenders, and other financial companies treat you fairly by regulating the credit bureaus. So, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau regulates the credit bureaus. If you are denied credit, you will receive a letter from that creditor by mail explaining why you were denied. Keep that copy for at least a year because you can use that if you need to order a new credit report. Let's say you already, within the 12 months, you had already requested your credit report, but then later on you apply for some credit and were denied. You may want to see the full report again to see if anything has changed from what you viewed before to possibly explain why you were denied. Then with that letter, and yes, you got to provide a copy of that letter so that you're not charged a fee for requesting an additional credit report within that same 12-month period. Secondary credit companies. I've already mentioned Anovis, Consumer Assistance, CoreLogic, LexisNexis, and SageStream. Anovis is a leader in credit reporting solutions for the mortgage industry. CoreLogic is a leader in credit reporting solutions for mortgage industry. LexisNexis is a consumer reporting agency that collects information from public records and multiple proprietary data. Like if you were ever evicted, then that information is on LexisNexis. SageStream is a consumer reporting agency that is regulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is also part of LexisNexis. But keep in mind that these secondary credit companies, you never communicated with them. You never gave them permission to share your information. So you can contact them to opt out from the secondary verifying companies and or submit a 609 letter to dispute your authorization to share information. All you got to do is send them a letter or contact them. Better to send a letter. There's just proof that you requested that they not share your information because you never signed anything for them to do so. Statute of Limitations. Now, when it comes to your debt, you need to research per state, which is a statute of limitations. I'm in Georgia, so I'm going to use the example statute of limitations for Atlanta. The time frame a creditor can sue you for your debt. You can understand that once you learn your statute of limitations for your city or state. Last date of activity is the last time you made a payment. Now, if you're in the process of debt collection, if you discuss or make payment on an account during the statute of limitations, this will actually reset the clock and extend that time, which the time is 7 years. And in some states it could be 4. Fair Credit Reporting Act is your friend. Read it so you can understand your power. Never dispute online. eOscar is the software that will deny you. eOscar is the software that these credit bureaus use, which is an automatic electronic reply to your request for not denial letters. Your when you request to have information removed. That's not a person responding to you. That's a automated system, and that's the eOscar. And if you use these pre-printed letters, you're going to automatically be denied because the system is programmed to look for those words and those phrases. So when you do submit a dispute letter of anything on your credit report, you need to actually handwrite it if you can, but it needs to be written or typed personally, meaning don't be so analytical and robotic in your wording and phrases. It's going to automatically see it and flag it because it's received millions of the same letter that you just copied and pasted and printed out or whatever to use. So try to put a little personal information into those letters when you send them in. If you settle on a debt, do not pay the full balance on an outstanding account. Your account will report as a paid collection for zero balance. This will actually negatively impact your score and profile. Do not settle unless you don't care. If you want to pay in full on an outstanding account, before you do anything, you need to request a pay for deletion, which means when you make the payment in full, they're going to remove it off your credit report. And they should either email or mail you this agreement before you actually make the payment. Because if you make the payment and they don't keep their word, then it's going to stay on your credit report for the remaining 7-year cycle. Okay? So request for a pay for deletion letter before you agree to anything. And they must send that letter to you first by mail or email. You can pay by cash, money order, cashier's check, or prepaid card only. Nothing related to your bank account. And this is the only time you would not use a credit card to pay this. Types of credit. Okay. Each is borrowed and repaid with a different structure. All key to on-time payments and low utilization. You have revolving credit, which are credit cards, department store cards, which allows you to repeatedly borrow and repay from a single line of credit up to a maximum limit. Interest is charged on any balance remaining after the statement's due date. Example, your credit card limit is $1,000, you spend $800 of it. Now your utilization is 80%. Your utilization should never exceed 30%, which would be $300 of that $1,000. The next type of credit is an installment credit, which consists of student loans, auto loan, personal loan, home loan, furniture account, or even a rent-to-own account. That's just an example. Is borrow in one lump sum with fixed payments that includes interest over a period of time. Once paid in full, the account is considered closed. And I had mentioned before, we have this negative relationship with student loans, like I do, but there's a positive and negative to having student loans. The only issue I'm going to have as far as student loans is, yes, when I get ready to buy another house next year, I need to make sure that I am on time with my IBR arrangement, my IBR contract, which is income-based repayment plan. So as long as I have that in good standing, I'm not going to have any issues getting a house. Now, the good thing about student loans, because part of your credit profile, and we're going to go over that in just a moment, how your credit profile is calculated, what percentages of your credit profile affect your credit profile. And this would be one. Student loans help with an aged account. The longer you have an account that's open, that helps with your age your age status on your credit history, which I'll explain further in just a moment. Continued types of credit. You have open credit, which is utility bills, your gas, electricity, water, cable, and cell phone services. These are monthly payments that vary, and balances are due in full at the end of each month. Last would be mixed and open credit, which is auto, home, revolving, personal loan, and student loan. Mixed credit. This helps you build a solid profile, and I will explain that further in just a moment as well. This shows that you can manage various types of debt responsibly, but one of the smallest factors to calculate your credit score, I think it's 15%, we'll see in just a moment, but the results, this helps you build your credit profile due to having a good mixture in your digital fingerprint. Okay, we have reached the end of this slide. Closing statement. I hope that you found some value in the content shared today. So until next time, take care of yourselves and know that knowledge is real power when you apply it. Please remember to support our platform by clicking like, share, make a comment if you like. We would appreciate it. It only takes one time to hit subscribe on either platform. Thank you for staying with us. Be blessed.